Hello, I'm Ashley.
And I'm Jessica from Get Kombucha, and we are here to tell you a little bit more about your class pet.
So, we've heard it's been growing in your classroom for a few weeks now, and as you may have observed, this small but mighty organism is a survivor. It's an organism that's been known to us humans for over 2,000 years, and in this 2,000 years, it has evolved into an extremely hardy organism composed of bacteria and yeasts. We're talking about the kombucha SCOBY. Scientists are still learning more about this organism every day. And a few months ago, our kombucha SCOBY traveled to the University of Oregon for scientists to perform genetic sequencing, and so we are happy to share with you its results. We were able to identify the exact bacteria and yeast that compose your mystery organism. We found out that the majority of our SCOBY is comprised of a bacteria called Gluconacidobacter and a yeast called Zygosaccharomyces.
So, Zygosaccharomyces is responsible for the fermentation of things like soy sauce, wine, beer, and of course, kombucha. It thrives on any habitat rich in sugars, such as sweet tea, fruits, and plant nectars. Gluconacidobacter is a acetic acid producing bacteria, and that's responsible for things like vinegar and the sour taste in the kombucha.
Mm-hmm. So, over the period of a week to a month, the kombucha SCOBY fermented the sugars you added to the tea at the beginning of the cycle. It produced a variety of organic acids, mostly acetic acid, which is present in white vinegar. It reproduces best in an ambient temperature of about 80 degrees or so, and it must have oxygen because it's anaerobic fermentation. During the fermentation period, small amounts of ethanol will also be produced, but since oxygen is always present, the ethanol will be rapidly metabolized by the bacteria and yeast and won't rise above 0.5% alcohol by volume, and usually it will be far lower than that.
One of the unique characteristics of the SCOBY is that it produces a floating network of cellulose layers on the top of its food source. Now, we don't know exactly why it does this. It could be an adaptation that perhaps has evolved in this manner to keep its food source, the sugar, in the tea from any other organisms. Another theory is that this floating cellulose material is present as a way to protect the SCOBY from UV light.
We call these bacteria survivors because they can travel through the air or by liquid to find a new food source. There's still so much to learn about your class pet, this kombucha SCOBY culture. Some people are experimenting with uses of the kombucha SCOBY as vegan leather, while others are exploring to use this bacteria as a way to break down food waste. Maybe you'll be the next scientist to discover a new use for the bacteria and yeast.